There is an ocean of everything you want: success, power, and the most satisfying relationships. It's all available and waiting for you. This is The Zone of Action with your host, Jerold Action Jackson.
Today, the subject of this podcast is the power of saying no. The power of saying no. Why walking away might be the smartest thing you ever do. Have you ever found yourself nodding your head, agreeing to something you didn't really want to do, only to regret it moments later? Maybe it was a favor for a friend, a family obligation, or even a business deal you knew wasn't right for you. If you're nodding right now, you're not alone. We've all been there, caught in the trap of saying yes when we should have boldly, confidently said no. Let me tell you something powerful. There is freedom in the word no. In fact, there's power, clarity, and self-respect bundled into those two little letters. The truth is, many of us are conditioned to be agreeable. We don't want to disappoint others. We don't want to seem selfish or ungrateful. We're told to be team players, to compromise, and to keep the peace. But here's what they don't tell you. Saying yes to the wrong things can keep you stuck, broke, stressed, and ultimately resentful. Let's break this down and have a real conversation about what it means to say no and why it might just be the most important word in your personal and professional toolbox. No is a complete sentence. You've probably heard this phrase before. No is a complete sentence. But how often do we actually live by it? Most of us feel the need to explain ourselves, to justify, or to sugarcoat our refusal so we don't offend. But the moment you realize that you are not obligated to explain your boundaries, you begin to step into your power. When you say no, you are not rejecting the person. You are simply honoring your values, your time, and your peace of mind. Now, I'm not saying be rude. I'm saying be clear. Because when you're clear, you don't need to be defensive. And when you're confident, you don't need to convince anyone. The high cost of people pleasing. Too many of us are running on empty because we're constantly saying yes to things we don't want, people we don't trust, and situations we shouldn't be in. Why? Because we're afraid of disappointing people. We're afraid of conflict. We're afraid of looking selfish. But here's the hard truth. You cannot build a powerful life based on weak decisions. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you are telling yourself that your needs don't matter, that your time is invaluable, that your peace is negotiable. And over time, that's how you lose yourself. You were not put here to be everything to everybody. You have a purpose, and distractions dressed up as opportunities can delay your destiny. You have more options than you think. One of the greatest lies people will tell you, especially in business, is that you don't have any options. Let me repeat that. They want you to believe you have no choice but to take their deal, their offer, their terms. Why do they say this? Because if you believe that you're stuck, you'll accept less than you deserve. Don't fall for it. As I've said in previous podcasts and writings, you have more options than you think. There are always other ways. The right partnerships, clients, and opportunities don't come with ultimatums or manipulation. They come with respect. The moment you believe you have options, you start to see them. That's when the real shift happens. That's when you start attracting better because you stop settling for less. The power of walking away. Let me get real with you. Some of the best deals I've ever made in life. And business didn't happen because I accepted what was on the table. They happened because I got up and walked away. And yes, I've walked away from deals I wanted. I've walked away from partnerships that looked lucrative, but I walked away because something didn't feel right. The terms weren't aligned with my values. The energy was off. Or the other party was playing games, trying to make me feel like I didn't have choices. Walking away doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful. It means you're not desperate. It means you're grounded. And most importantly, it means you trust yourself. The power you gain from knowing you can walk away is unmatched. It shifts the energy in the room. And ironically, it's usually when you're willing to walk away that the other side finally takes you seriously. What to say no to without hesitation. Now let's talk specifics, because there are certain things you should say no to every single time. No guilt, no second guessing. 1, co-signing loans. Let me be clear. Never, ever, ever co-sign a loan for anybody. Not your friend, not your cousin, not even your mother. I know that sounds harsh, but hear me out. When a bank or loan company denies someone credit, it's not personal, it's business. These companies have professional systems that assess the likelihood of someone paying them back. If they say no, it means the person is a high risk. So what happens next? That person comes to you with big eyes and a sad story, asking you to co-sign. But understand what that means. You're not co-signing trust. You're co-signing liability. You're guaranteeing that company will get paid even if it's you doing the paying. This is not about love. It's about logic. Love them. Support them, encourage them, but say no to co-signing. 2, unlicensed contractors. If you're getting work done in your home or business and the person you're hiring isn't licensed, insured, and backed by real reviews, say no. I don't care how nice they are or how much money you think you're saving. The reality is you might end up spending more fixing their mistakes than if you hired a professional in the first place. A deal that puts your safety, your time, or your money at risk is no deal at all. The guilt trip from family and friends. Here's where it gets tricky. Saying no to strangers is one thing. Saying no to family and friends, that's a whole different game. People who are close to you often feel entitled to your time, your money, your help, and most of all, your yes. The first time you tell them no, they'll act shocked. Some may even act hurt. But here's what you must understand. Your boundary is not disrespectful. Their entitlement is. You are allowed to say no to loaning money, attending events you don't want to attend, doing favors that drain your time and energy, supporting decisions you don't believe in, and you are still a good person. Trust your intuition, not pressure. Pressure is a dangerous tool. People will use urgency, guilt, manipulation, and even compliments to pressure you into saying yes. But your intuition, it's quiet. It whispers, it nudges, and it never lies. If something doesn't feel right, pause. You don't owe anybody an instant answer. Take time, do your research, sit with it. And if it still feels off, say no. You don't have to justify your no. Here's a practice. Next time someone asks you to do something that doesn't serve you, just say, no, I can't do that. And stop talking. Notice how uncomfortable you feel at first. That's normal, but over time, you'll get stronger. Your boundaries will get clearer. Your peace will grow and your life will shift. You don't owe anyone a paragraph. Your life is not up for debate. Final thoughts, you deserve to be free. Saying no is not about being negative. It's about being intentional. It's about designing a life that aligns with your purpose, your values, and your vision. When you stop trying to be everything to everybody, you become everything you were meant to be. So, today, give yourself permission to say no to bad deals, no to emotional manipulation, no to guilt, no to chaos, no to being overextended, because every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're actually saying yes. Yes to peace, yes to clarity, yes to the life you truly want. And let me leave you with this. The next time someone tries to box you into a bad deal or manipulate you into agreeing, pause, breathe, smile, and remember. No is a complete sentence. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, JeroldJax. On Facebook, Jerold Action Jackson and Zone of Action. Check out the website, JeroldJackson.com. Happiness starts with you, not with your relationship, not with your job, not with your money, but with you in the zone of action.